Welcome to the weekly edition of the Spartan News. Proudly produced by the Video Club.
Good morning and welcome back, Spartans. I'm Sam Alinsky and this is
Salam Cater,
bringing you the latest in Spartan news.
The Social Studies Department is having the first ever Social Studies Bee in the new Performing Arts Center. The event will have 2 rounds. Round 1 will be a large competition using quizzes. Those students that finish in the top 10 will then compete in a more of a traditional academic bee-type competition. There will be a Quizlet available for students to brush up on their social studies. The top 3 will win nice gift cards with $100, $50, and $25 and get their names engraved on a plaque. Sign up using the QR codes.
Illinois has its bicentennial birthday. Let's go to Nick with Mr. Long to discuss Illinois.
Thanks, Studio, and today I will be asking some questions to Mr. Long about Illinois' bicentennial. So, Mr. Long, what are some highlights about Illinois' history?
Well, whenever I think of Illinois, you have to link it with Abraham Lincoln. So anything that deals with Lincoln in our history, I think is important. I think that when it comes to labor rights in this country, you have to cover like the Haymarket riot and the subsequent trial. I think that's an interesting event. Anything about Chicago history, I think, is incredibly important and interesting. I would also from my political aspect, I would also focus on the 1968 Democratic National Convention and the violence that took place because of the police. I think that's also important to cover and how it affected the nation. So those are some of the big events that I would focus on. Those are the ones that I personally like to study myself.
Last question. What do you think the future of Illinois is? Or something?
The future is bright. Like I said, once they get the budgeting in order and they fix the state's credit rating and they get things on a more sustainable path, I think that's an important thing. They would need to stop the bleeding in terms of the state's power and the population stagnation, which is kind of I would say, hurt us on a national level. They'd have to find a way to make the state more appealing to bring more people in. But ultimately, I think the future is bright. I see the state as moving in a progressive direction, and we're not California, but I do think that the state's doing a lot of good things politically.
All right, so that has been an interview with Mr. Long. So back to you, Studio.
Now for club and activity news.
The speech team had a memorable event here at Oaklawn. Joining us today is speech president Abby Moore and her little sister Ella Moore, joining us today to discuss the clip.
This past weekend, Oaklawn hosted their annual Santaburg Oaklaws tournament, in which they placed 4th out of 23 schools.
But the real story happened just before awards when rival speech coach Sean Harrigan from Richards High School decided to make a surprise tack on a special guest.
Luckily, Coach Olson didn't bat an eye and jumped into action. Let's take a look.
SED hosted their annual holiday card-making party December 10, 11, and 12. Their mission is to create 120 cards for the residents of Oaklawn, Manicure. They are organizing a field trip to deliver the cards next week. To contribute, stop by room 108 and see Mr. Brita.
Now to business. The year is ending and time to get some financial goals for the new year. Let's go to an interview with Mr. Biga and talk money.
Thank you, Studio. I'm here with Mr. Biga for some financial advice. Mr. Biga, what financial advice do you have for students?
Well, in terms of financial advice, I would say that number one, you got to make sure you save some money. That's something you got to do, and that requires discipline. You go get a job, you earn some income, you can spend it or you can save it. I'd recommend you save at least 15%. Most experts would say 15% of your income should be saved. And then that money that is saved, you can then invest it. And at your age, I'd recommend a mix of stocks and bonds, probably more stocks and mutual funds as well. Go talk to a financial advisor about exactly how to set that up, or you can come talk to me. I'll give you the right directions on how to do that. But I would definitely make sure that you save money and that you invest those savings as well.
What financial advice do you have for staff members in the building?
For staff members in the building, I mean, we have an economy that, or I should say a stock market in the last couple of days, last couple of months actually, that has been very volatile. And if you're closer to retirement, you want to probably shift some of your assets from, your retirement assets from more stocks and mutual funds to bonds, which are generally safer. But if you have anywhere from 10 to 20 years left before retirement, any money you have in your 403b should probably remain mostly in stocks, because you have time to recover if there's any downturn in the economy. So stocks generally earn on average about 8% a year, whereas cash in the bank earns only on average 2 to 3%. So you're not going to get rich keeping money in the bank. You need to have money in stocks and be exposed to that. That'll grow your retirement portfolio a lot quicker.
I agree with whatever you say. Thank you, Mr. Biga. Back to you in studio.
Thank you, Saba. Now to sports.
Took a huge win against Layton on Tuesday, 45-44, with Sammy Osmani with the game winner. He also dropped 28 points and Kevin Swatek with 12 huge rebounds.
The girls' basketball team had a sweet win against Lockport, 45-41, in their Monday Christmas tournament game. Come support the girls' team for their future home games.
Now to the weekly tea.
For this week's weekly tea, last week Cardi B and Offset announced their divorce. She put it on her Instagram saying that she has so much love for him and that she tried to work it out, but things just weren't going good for her. And recent sources are saying that 50 Cent is urging Cardi B to go back to Offset. I have no words. And Offset also says that he misses her. You had the chance to be with her. You were with Cardi B. What happened? But you wanted to do your little thing and live your best life, I'm guessing. So, Veronica, do you have anything, more positive to say?
I actually do. Nick Jonas and Priyanka Chopra got married recently, our favorite childhood stars growing up. As you may know, Priyanka is of Indian descent. Therefore, this adorable couple had 2 wedding ceremonies to incorporate both their cultures. They were both in Mumbai, India, one being more of a traditional Indian wedding and the other a Western-style wedding. The Indian-style ceremony included traditional wedding rituals, elaborate colorful clothing, and lots of dancing. The Western style was officiated by Nick's father. Congratulations to the newlyweds.
And now back to Salam and Sam.
This is the Spartan News signing off. See you next week.